Hello, Spager77 here, and I'm bringing you an Infernoid deck profile. This is an updated deck profile from my previous Infernoid deck. A lot of people think the deck is dead just because reading this to 1. I can definitely say it's not. It can still hold its ground against a lot of decks that are meta currently. I think a lot of people just stopped playing the deck as soon as reasoning got hit to 1. I didn't stop playing it, and it still works just as well, honestly. A lot of times I don't even need the reasoning to win. So let's get started into the video. First off, use 3 Decatron. Pretty self-explanatory. It will send your monsters from deck to graveyard, and then you'll be able to use their effects. This is probably the best in front of the deck. Definitely use them at 3. Next one on 2. He's used for basically Regeki / Dark Hole, and it also can negate stuff like Pantheism or Cows of Town, banish it, which is good because it's mainly just for the banishing, not even for the negate part, because that means they can't use their grave effect, which is really good. Next one, Deviati. This is used for basically Heavy Storm and also negating monster effects. So if they summon like a Skullcrobat or a Idea, you can use this guy's effect to negate and banish them. So really good. Next, 2 Tondel. This guy's the beast stick of the deck. He is the guy that puts out the most damage of the Infernoids. He's really good for OTKs if they have monsters on the field. So yeah, he's really good. And next, probably the best of the big guys probably the best Infernoid deck other than Decatron. Seismos, this guy is really helpful because he can be used to remove stuff like Dark Destroyer or banish stuff like Dante or Beatrice. So they can't use their effects and send to the graveyard. Next, 2 Petulea. This guy's good just for basic rank 4 spam. Sorry. It's good for use of rank 4 spam. Also use destroy spell trap cards mainly. You want to do special in defense mode. Destroy like a Pendulum Scale or a spell trap card they control or the field spell. And then something like a Raiden or something and overlay with them or Synchro. Next, 3 Harmatic. This guy is really good for level manipulation because you can summon Decatron, use effect send a Petulea to the graveyard, now he's level 5, and you can special Harmatic, destroy monster and solve the card they control, and then Synchro for like Omega or something. It's just really good. And yeah, his obvious effect to destroy monster they control, so that's good. Next, 3 Entra. I used to only play one of this guy, but he's actually really good at 3, just because it's really good for removal of stuff that would stop you. If you can get this guy in the field before they activate something like Imperial Iron Wall or like a Vanity's Fiend, so this can help a lot. If you can normal summon like a Decatron, it's an Antra to bounce with Vanity's Fiend or Imperial Iron Wall if you don't have any Petuleas left in the deck. So that's really good. Next, 1 Pyramids. This guy's probably my favorite of the little guys. I wouldn't say he's the best one, but he's probably my favorite just because he's so funny to use. You can just shuffle back any set card, so if they set like a monster card face down in defense position, you can shuffle it back into the deck for no cost, which is really funny and a really useless effect a lot of time. That's with the Infernoid monsters. Next, for the other normal summon stuff to help you, 2 Dark Magician of Chaos. So basically, you just recycle your spell cards, mainly Reasoning or like Twin Twister, Burial, Monster Gate. It also you can be used for rank 8s, which is that's really good, and can also be used to banish stuff like Banish, like Slip Rider or Dog Fighter, or even Pendulum Monsters. So he's really good. Next, 2 Raiden. He's just pretty self-explanatory. He's used to help get your Infernoids in the graveyard and your Void Seers too. So that's it for the normal summon monsters other than Infernoids. Onto the spell cards. I use 1 Reasoning. Even this is cards I want to still use it at 1, definitely. I honestly wouldn't say this card's the best best card in the deck anymore. It's really good, but it's not very good. It's just because the fact that they can still send to the graveyard, and a lot of times you just want to be able to summon whatever you get with this. Next, Monster Gate. I'd say this kind of replaces the best card in the deck, because if you have like a Deviati or Nunsu on the field to contribute them and be able to have them in the graveyard and something like a Decatron or a Raiden or a Demok and be able to special them again, so that's really good. And also you get the guaranteed special summon. Next to Voice here, this is the only card you'd be fine milling other than your Inferno cards. just because it has a great effect where you can banish it to prevent destruction, so that's really good. It can help a lot against stuff like Dark Destroyer or Raigeki. That's good. Next, Charge Life Brigade. I know I only have 2 targets for this, and sometimes it actually is a bad thing for me, but it does help a lot just because it's basically a 5-card mill, because you can start out raiding by milling 3 and then use raiding second mill 2, so it's really good. That's really all it does. Next, 3 Instant Fusion. This card is really good. My friend actually convinced me to play this. It can get a little cloggy, but it's really helpful because you can go for a first turn Omega or anything else. One of the combos, you can summon Norden with this and then push some deck trap from the graveyard, then sync for Speedroid Chambara, which is really good for FTKs, like with a Tondal. You can switch some Tondal and Chambara, and a lot of times you'll have game if they have attack position monsters in the field. So it's really helpful. Next, 3 Twin Twister. Basically just get rid of back row stuff. That's pretty much it. Just really helpful against PK Fire or Monarchs, Cosmo, anything that use back row. Next one for 1. Pretty self-explanatory, just use special Dakatron from deck and then send them to the graveyard. That's really all it does. Next on Burial. Again, pretty self-explanatory, just use your turn for any monsters from Banish under graveyard. Same with Miracle Dig. Because Burial is the one you want to use Miracle Dig, just because it's a lot of times that she's alive, and you can send back 3, which can actually help you a lot. I've actually been able to push for game because of this card before when I was stuck against a Dark Law. That's really good. Next one, Rekindling. The cards can be used to recycle your Decatrons from the graveyard. If you say you get like a raiding out by using Charge Light Brigade, say you mill 2 Decatron charge, and then you get raiding out, and then they have Rekindling in hand, you can get 2 Decatron out for free. So that's really good. And finally, just one Raigeki, just to get rid of stuff. It's really good in the first turn against Cosmo, because you can just activate this, and then they have to do something. And you can just pretty much guarantee removal for Dark Destroyer unless they have another Cosmo in hand. So they can get one of those pilots, and then such an Dark Destroyer our way. But a lot of time, this is just very alive card, so I would definitely use Raigeki in this deck. You don't supposed to do this for Dark Hole, but I'd suggest Raigeki. That's it for the main deck. And now on to the side deck. Used 2 Chaos Hunter. Good against Cosmo or Monarchs, anything that matches. It's such a good against Monarchs just because it's for Idea's special effect to summon Eidos, I believe. Yeah, you can discard a special from this guy in the game. You Pantheism second effect or stuff like Eidos' second effect, special summon an Idea back from the graveyard. And it's also 25 point beast deck level 7, so that's good. Next one, Vanity Speed. I play more of this, but I only have 1. But pretty self-explanatory because they just can't special summon monsters. Really good in the mirror match. Not that there ever is a mirror match anymore, but it's still a good card. Next one, Majesty's Fiend. This card is really good against Cosmo. A lot of times you can get this card out. If they don't have Cosmo Mojo, it's this game because they can't activate anything's effects like Dark Destroyer or Farm Growl. So Orton can, so it's really good. Yeah, it's just a really good card to use against Cosmo or even Monarchs or anything actually that uses effects, which is pretty much every deck. Next one, Ada is Meteor Burst Dragon. Same thing against Cosmo. I barely side this thing in though, because a lot of times I just wouldn't make it. But it's there, I guess. Next to Mistaken Arrest. Tie this in sometimes for against the Monarch matchup. Pretty self-explanatory, this can't add cards from deck to hand. Just really good against Monarchs, so that's good there. Next 2 Spell Shattering Arrows. Still for Pepe. If they activate their scale, I can use it to deal 1,000 more damage and destroy their scale. So they have to do something else. So it's really good, just in every situation pretty much against Pepe. Next 2 System Down. This is good in Cosmo. I would definitely use 2. I've never really seen this card much, but it is a good card to have just in case you ever need it. Next on to the traps. One of these Spell Ringers. I only have one of this. I actually just got this on Thursday from my pack for going 3-1 in my tournament. So that was really cool. Just great card overall. Can really stun some people. And typically, you can always wait for activating stuff like Reasoning or Twin Twister. Well, yeah, you can always wait for that kind of stuff. So, it just doesn't really hurt you that much. Next 2 Chaos Trap Pool, mainly just for Monarchs and somewhat Cosmo. Yeah, pretty self-explanatory. And then one Solemn Warning just to get even more monster summons. That's it for the side deck, really. Next on to the extra deck. I use starting off with one Norden. I don't really get why this guy went to one, like I said in my previous videos. But yeah, it happens. But this guy is just a really good card in the extra deck because it allows you to go for a lot of synchro plays or disease monsters. It's really good. Next one, Chimbara, is probably one of the best cards in the extra deck, along with Omega and 38, just because it can deal a lot of damage in one turn. Basically, go for like an FTK or OTK, which is really good. I wouldn't use the deck without it. I'm really glad I got this card. So, next I use one Gaia This card's really good, again, for OTKs, FTKs, just because it doesn't counter the level limit, which is, just something that's really good in Infernoid by fact of, you can special summon, like, 2 Autondle with this card on the field, even with this card on the field, so that's always really live, so I'd use this card. I don't actually have a scrapyard, which means it's the only level 7 I play. Like I said in my previous deck profile, I wouldn't play this deck without Black Rose Dragon, just because it can use to nuke the board. If you're playing against Cosmo or Monarch, this is really helpful. Unless, of course, they have the field spell on the field. But if you're playing against Monarch and they don't have the field spell, but they have a huge board, you can always just use this thing and nuke the entire field. That's really good. Next one, Typhoon More Omega. I finally got this card recently. Definitely the best card in the deck. I've used this thing so many times already. If you don't have this card and you're playing the deck, definitely do your best to get this card just because it's so good. This is definitely the best card in the extra deck. Chimbara is pretty much a close second, but this definitely tops it. Next in Crimson Later, this card's really good against things like Heroes or Monarchs and Cosmo, but that's pretty much it. Correct. I just use it because it can stop a lot of the meta today. Next one, Scarlet. This card's actually kind of funny at the tournaments. I actually use this card to deal a lot of burn damage to finish someone else off. So this card's really cool. But it doesn't really do much other than just destroy stuff and deal the burn damage. But it's still really good just because this is a 3,000 attack. Next one, Trishula. Never actually mail summoned this card before, but well, I have a couple times now recently. When you do actually are able to summon this thing, if you ever need to, it's really good just because you can banish stuff like Dark Destroyer, because this thing doesn't target. So that's always nice. Anything that doesn't target is just really a card, but not the easiest to summon in the deck. But if you need to, you can probably do it. Next one, Dante. Since there's the card troopers of the deck, this thing's kind of gotten harder to summon, but you don't really need it a lot of the time. But I'd still use it. Next one, Abyss Dweller. Kind of like good for PK Fire or anything that activates in the graveyard, like Cosmo. But, yeah, there's not really much else to it, just a really good card to have. One Castell, pretty self-explanatory. I think every other deck that can make rank 4s uses this card. I don't really think I need to explain it. Next one, 106. I say that I make this card the most out of all my rank 4s just because it can do something on their turn, unlike all rest of my rank 4s, other than Abyss Dweller. But a lot of times, Abyss Dweller isn't very alive a lot of times Abyss Dweller isn't very alive in my duels. I don't really know why. Well, probably because of the fact that I can just banish stuff in the graveyard if I need to. But, yeah, this card's probably the most used rank 4 I use in the deck. Next one, Pearl. This card's good just kind of the same way as Gaia is. Just used for being able to summon more like 2 special Autondle. 2 Autondles, actually. This thing is actually the exact same as Gaia except different summon condition. 2600 attack. And that's really all he's used for. Next one, Flare Metal. Just for burn damage, you can kind of lock your opponent out of the game if they have low enough life points with this card. You only use effects like 3 or 4 times if you get them down to low enough life points, which isn't really that uncommon with the deck. You can special 2 Sight Smoss, then use Instant Fusion to go for Northern, then go for Decatron with his effect X, then Sync Summon for Chimbara, and then just attack like 4 times over the monsters and stuff, and then they're down to like 1,000 life points, and you can overlay with a Sight Smoss, the 2 Sight Smoss, and then just go for this guy, and then they have low life points, so they can't really do anything other than activate like 1 or 2 effects. It's good. Next one, 38. So it's just really good overall, just because it can negate spell cards, which is really helpful because it can absorb stuff like Cosmotown or Pantheism, which is always useful. I'd go for this card a lot of times if you can go for it. But, It doesn't really do much else because the target for attacking isn't really that alive that often. But that's pretty much it for the deck profile. Thanks for watching. Please give the video a like, subscribe, or leave a comment, and give me some suggestions about how to change the deck or some other deck profiles to make. Thanks for watching. This is Beatrice 77 signing off.